name is Teresita Blanco, the Artsy sister, and today we're reading Saturnastra, Chicot. This is Chapter 6, The Reunion, Part 1. By the end of the week, the swelling had gone down. Just for added measures, Amy suggested I stay in bed for another 5 days. He would give me leg exercise to help me restore my mobility to my ankle. In the future, do wear shoes with better leg support. You can't support your mother if you keep getting injured, said Amy, finally departing. By the end of the month, I decided to venture into the forest again. The weather was just lovely and the sky was an azure blue. After analyzing Amy's notebook, I was able to forage a decent amount of nuts and berries. In one tree, I found plenty of wild potatoes and carrots. I replanted the potato plant for future uses. During one of such foraging trips, I ran into a strange maiden. She had tan skin and blue eyes. Her clothing was exotic, and she wore plenty of jewelries. She smiled when she saw me, and she asked, "What you doing?" "I'm looking for food," I answered. "That's strange. Most townies don't go to the forest except to hunt," said the maiden. "There's a food shortage, so I have to get food where I can find it," I explained. "No, there isn't. The food prices are just high to help sell the cheaply made booze. The nobles get food prices 10 times cheaper than the people from lower classes. In a way, you are paying for their food too," said the maiden. "How do you know that?" I inquired. "I know 'cause I travel a lot, and my mom used to belong to the Merchants Guild, so," said the maiden, picking up herbs. "Nothing surprises me at this point," I said, chuckling. "If you're so desperate for food that you will go into the forest, why don't you join our circus troupe? We can always use more dwarfs for our performances," she suggested. "I still have some of my pride," I said angrily. "Sure you do," said the girl, laughing at me. I thought about joining the circus troupe on my way back home. When I discussed it with my mother, she was at first reluctant. In the end, she yielded to my reasoning. It was preferable to take one's chances on the open road than to starve to death. By now, Mother seemed a bit better. She had been doing some clothing mending to earn a bit of extra cash. The following day, I presented myself to the circus troupe along with my mother. I was eventually introduced to the ringmaster, Glad Omjetnik. Despite his happy name, Glad was quite the stern, skinny feller who rarely ate a thing, and his face was always the most bitter. He was called Glad, but he was sad.
Like, I find it hilarious that you're like, okay, how do I pronounce this? So you tell me, you wrote it. Like you did that to yourself.
I don't know. I just wrote the word for the meaning, not because of whether I could pronounce it or not. In a straightforward manner, he said, "We came to Suften in search of necromancy mirrors. A good number of them were said to have been destroyed. We were hoping to find a few intact ones. Oh, you want Chicot's compound mirrors. They are associated with necromancy only because he was a grave robber. I doubt it will be of any use to your craft." I explained, giving him my one remaining compound mirror. It was the male edition, made of solid iron with strange geometrical patterns. "These patterns and the runes surrounding it," said Glad while looking at the mirror. "And the way both these mirrors work. This is an excellent necromancy mirror." If you say so," I said, frowning. I was suddenly quite disappointed with Chicot. Seeing the look on my face, Glad said, "For those uninitiated, these mirrors are harmless trinkets." "Ah," I answered. Still, it was rather bizarre that Chicot knew how to make necromancy mirrors. Maybe it was one of those happy accidents. He probably gave the mirror such a pattern without understanding its full implications. Time, bro?
10 minutes.
While examining my mirror, his eyes was also drawn to my bracelet. Taking my arm, Glad asked, "Who gave you this bracelet?" "A professor from the grammar school called Amy Deocalion," I answered. Amy. Why does that name sound familiar?" said Glad more to himself. "Well, he is a famous teacher from Verageddon, so it makes sense that you would have heard of him," I explained. For some reason, Glad found what I said hilarious. Patting my head, he said, "I heard all I need to know. Welcome to the circus troupe. As long as you do what we say, we promise to provide for you and your mother. Understand?" "Yes, sir," I said, bowing. Striking my head with his walking stick, Glad said, "You should not be so eager to work for someone on a flimsy promise. You are allowed to negotiate. People are going to continue taking advantage of you if you sell yourself short." I took to the circus life rather easily, in part because I was so used to following orders. Since I knew cursive, I served as a scribe for the circus group. I also knew the format for drafting all sorts of letters and important documents. Glad also made me do hand copies, illustrated posters, and pamphlets for the circus. In order to break the tedium of my scribe work, I was also allowed to participate in their buffoonery. Mother naturally opposed this, but in the end she supported my choice. She even went as far as to spend 2 months making my first buffoon costume. Over time I rose to the rank of white clown. I was to dazzle the crowd with my sophisticated behavior and well manners. I was usually paired up with an August clown, who clumsily mimicked my actions. Since I was learned, I did plenty of play skits and even sung duets with my tone-deaf partner. I traveled with the circus for about a year and a half. We visited 2 cities, 5 towns, and 7 small villages. Those were some of the happiest days of my life. And while performing in Little Sofia, I saw a familiar face. At first I didn't recognize her since she was wearing a pink wig. Upon closer inspection, I recognized Gita in all her beauty and splendor. After the show, I tried to find her among the crowd. Calling it quits, I returned to my wagon in disappointment. Waiting inside was lovely Gita. She had not changed much since last I saw her. I was gratified to see that whatever they had done to her face had not left a scar. Noticing where I was looking at, she said, tracing the line from her left eye to her chin, "Oh, this? I had a hair to take care of it as soon as we left town." Like, really messed up her face. "What happened to you guys after you left? And Chicot, what did the monsters do to him?" I inquired, drawing a chair closer. And I beckoned Gita to sit before me. "Ah, yes, Chicot," she said in a harsh voice. "We all had to change our names and identities, so we don't usually use our own names anymore." "So what do you go by?" I asked. Saying Gita. It's such a common name, unlike Chicot or Alvis. They were the only ones who had to discard their old identity. Alvis is now Aden, and Chicot goes by the name of Jean-Antoine Diaphelon. I told him the name was no good since there was no way a Diaphelon had dwarves in their bloodline. In response, he said he would tell whoever they asked that he was a human and not of the pigs, she explained. "Who are the pigs?" I inquired. "You are a dwarf and you don't even know that? Dwarf is a human acronym. The true name of your species is pigs. Just as we call ourselves Alf," explained Giza. "My mother gave me human education, so I wouldn't know," I said, lowering my head. "Don't feel bad. So you wanted to know about Chicot? Well, after the incident, a little group tried to survive as best we could outside of town. We made our way to Escada Bay to work in the farms. The lords were gracious enough to share their supplies, and they were unique in the fact that they did not use slave labor. And from there we took a boat before the river froze to Little Sofia. And Chicot liked the name of the town, so we decided to establish a base of operation here. Its ports are excellent for transporting goods, and due to the age of the town, there are no guilds or noble houses, so it is the perfect spot for us to flourish. Time, bro?
6 minutes.
"So you're doing well," I said happily. Pity poo, as Chicot would say. She added, we still have to send in our highwaymen to make me send from time to time." "Oh," I said, frowning. "Highwaymen are like robber people who rob you in the middle of the road." It's fine. We only attack caravans related to the Unhai clan," she said, smiling. "Good, serves them right," I said, remembering that Lady Margaret belonged to the Unhai household. "If you want to hear more of it, come see Chicot with me at the manor," she suggested. "Certainly. Let me change out of this get-up," I said, getting up. "Ah, Pooh, my dear husband would have found your costume more amusing," she said, laughing. "You're married?" I asked, shocked. "In name only," she said, sneering. Without getting changed, I went with Gita to the manor. I was curious to see her so-called husband. The manor was on a raised hill. It was surrounded by an iron fence. The night air felt suddenly cool. It rose of the flowers in the garden, revealing fireflies of different colors and shapes. Upon closer inspection, I saw that there were butterflies with their bodies, that there were butterflies, and that their wings grew in the darkness. It is called bioluminescence. Some animals and bugs have them. There's nothing magical about it, but they are certainly pretty, said Gita, looking at the glowing butterflies. This garden seems like a dream, I exclaimed, enchanted by the sights. Time, bro?
4 minutes.
Yes, my dear Jean likes to maintain a surreal garden to confound our enemies, explained Gita. Jean, who is Jean? Is Chicot's new name, or haven't you been paying attention? What am I saying? You never did ever bother to pay attention during my lesson, said Gita, laughing. I pay attention. Sure you did, she said, teasing me. We eventually made our way towards the entrance of the manor. It had 3 stories and a basement that went down 2 levels. The windows had stained glass, except that they were see-through for some reason. The bars were paper thin. They were made of gold and silver. There was also a strong, vibrant glow exiting the windows. It was strange to see houses so bright at night. Time, bro?
3 minutes, 30 seconds.
Once inside, I saw that the lights were strange orbs with ornamental runes. They had a warm, gentle glow like the morning sun. It was within this warm light and comfortable interior where I saw Chicot playing with his red ball with a little girl. Chicot had barely grown since last I saw him. In fact, he seemed even shorter. Then again, I must have grown a bit over the course of 2 years. It was his face which I found most shocking. It was branded on his left cheek with a B for blasphemy. Blasphemy was the usual brand given to necromancers before their execution, so it had like a huge B scar. The right arm of his sleeve was also rolled up. Smiling, Chicot said, "It is nice to see you again, Joseph. I hear you are in show business now, and I would have contacted you sooner, but you seem to be having a lot of fun." "Yes, I do not see why the circus bears such a stigma." "I have a lot of fun there," I said, shaking his left hand. Frowning, I added, "Oh dear, Chicot, what happened to your hand and your face? Why didn't you get your hand healed like Gita's face?" "It seemed like too much of a bother," said Chicot, guiding me to the second floor study. "Did it hurt?" It's fine, I'm already over it," said Chicot, smiling. "No, you're not fine, for God's sake, you're missing an arm." "Yeesh, you're acting as if you were the only one who got mutilated. Relax, it wasn't even my dominant hand," said Chicot, opening the door to his study. He removed his white cloak and he placed it on the couch. Sitting down before the fire, he said, "Let me be frank with you, Joseph. It wasn't a coincidence that Gita was at the circus today. I was genuinely looking for you to offer you a job." Time?
Less than a minute.
Alright, we'll leave it like that. Bye bye and God bless.